Have you ever had one of those days, where someone says or does something, you lose your temper, and then you spend the rest of the day just kicking yourself for it? It's it's a terrible cycle, right? But what if the problem isn't them? What if it's about us giving away a power that was always ours to begin with? Okay, let's dive into this. Let's figure out how to reclaim that power, right? Come on, be honest. Think about it for a second. There's that one person, a colleague, maybe a family member, or even just some random person online who just knows exactly how to get under your skin. We all have someone like that. We call them button pushers. But what if that entire idea is just a myth? Now, I know this sounds a little wild, but it means that every single time you lose it, you're not actually a victim of what they did. You're a volunteer. You are literally handing them the keys to your own inner peace. But the good news? You can take those keys back. And we're going to start today. All right, so let's get into it. This is where we begin the process of taking back control. And listen, this is not about becoming some emotionless robot or pretending you don't have feelings. No way. This is about becoming so solid, so unshakable that nobody else gets to decide how you feel. This is such a crucial point. Real self-control isn't some brutal fight against your feelings. It's actually the opposite. It's the skill of just watching an emotion show up inside you and then making the choice not to pour gasoline on the fire. It's the difference between noticing a tiny spark and starting a full-blown wildfire. So, how does this actually work inside our bodies? Well, it turns out there's a powerful biological reason why just watching is so much more effective than fighting. And it all comes down to this one simple, non-negotiable number that runs every single emotion you've ever felt. That's it, 90 seconds. From a purely chemical standpoint, the actual physical rush of an emotion, whether it's anger, fear, joy, whatever, it only lasts for about 90 seconds in your body. It's a biochemical cocktail that floods your system, and after a minute and a half, the chemical reaction is literally over. But, hold on. If that's true, why does anger sometimes last for hours or even days? This, right here, this is the absolute key to everything. The chemical reaction, that's automatic. It happens. And it will dissolve all on its own if you just let it be. But the mental narrative, that's the story you tell yourself about the feeling. That's a choice. And every time you replay that story, you are consciously re-triggering the chemical reaction long after that first 90 seconds is gone. And here's why that mental story is so powerful. Your brain, it can't tell the difference between the actual event happening right now and you just thinking about the event. It's all the same to your body. So each time you replay that argument in your head, you're giving yourself another shot of those emotional chemicals. You are essentially choosing to keep yourself angry. So we've got the what and the how down. Now let's dig a little deeper into the why. Why are some triggers so incredibly powerful? What is really going on when someone pushes your buttons? And this is where we say goodbye to the button pusher myth for good. See, nobody can install a button in you. They can only press the ones you've already built, from old wounds, from painful memories, from beliefs you've held for years. That person who triggers you isn't your enemy. They're actually an unwilling messenger, showing you exactly where you still have some work to do. And here's another secret about anger. It's usually a disguise. It's like armor for our most vulnerable parts. It's loud, it's powerful, and it's a fantastic way to keep people from getting too close to what's really going on underneath. It's a defense mechanism, pure and simple. So what is all that intense anger protecting? What's the more vulnerable feeling that's hiding underneath? The one that feels too risky to admit, even to yourself? Usually it's one of these: fear, pain, shame, a feeling of injustice. Think about it. It is so much easier to yell, "You're disrespecting me," than it is to say, "Wow, what you just said, that really hurt." It's easier to attack than to admit, "I'm scared you're going to leave." Anger is the bodyguard for these softer, more painful feelings. Okay, so we've pretty much diagnosed the problem from every angle. Now for the fun part. Let's get practical. How do we actually build this skill of emotional control when we're in the heat of the moment? Let's stock up our toolkit. The magic key isn't in stopping people from triggering you. That's impossible. Your freedom is found in the tiny, microscopic space after the trigger happens, but before you have your automatic reaction. Right now, that space might feel like it doesn't even exist, but our entire goal is to make it just a little bit bigger. This is your emergency brake. The second you feel that heat rising in your chest, just stop. Do nothing, say nothing. Then just breathe. A deep breath. 10 seconds is often enough to shift control from that reactive fight or flight part of your brain back to your rational thinking brain. And in that space, you just watch. You watch that 90-second chemical wave rise, crest, and fall without letting it sweep you away. Now, here's a really powerful mindset shift for you. What if that person who drives you absolutely crazy is actually your personal trainer for emotional strength? I mean, think about it. Growth doesn't happen when we're comfortable. It happens when there's friction. By seeing them as a trainer instead of an enemy, you turn every frustrating moment into a chance to practice your new skills. And a huge part of this training is learning the difference between setting a boundary and building a wall. A wall is built from fear. Its job is to keep everybody out. But a boundary is built from clarity and self-respect. It doesn't push people away. It just teaches them how to treat you. It protects your energy so you can stay engaged with the world in a healthy way. So all of these tools, all these ideas, they're building toward one final, really profound understanding. This isn't just about managing your anger. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with your own mind. This, right here, is the ultimate goal. It's the realization that you are not the temporary storm of emotion that's just passing through. You are the calm, steady awareness that is witnessing the storm. There's a part of you that never gets angry, that never panics. We can call it the inner observer. This is such a perfect way to think about it. The clouds, your anger, your sadness, your fear, they're always changing, always moving through. But you are not the clouds. You are the vast, unchanging, endless sky that they appear in. And when you learn to identify with the sky instead of the clouds, the weather no longer controls you. And this completely redefines what we're aiming for. The goal isn't to live a life with no storms. Come on, that's impossible. The goal is to become the calm center inside the storm, to be able to feel the wind and the rain without getting blown off your feet. Now that is true inner peace. And this is what you get after all that practice. Emotional freedom. It's not about feeling nothing. It's the total opposite. It's about having the strength to feel everything, the full, rich, messy spectrum of human emotion, without being hijacked or owned by any of it. So what's the big takeaway here? That person who pushes your buttons, that difficult situation, that frustrating event, they're all just distractions. The real battle, the only one that ever truly matters, it's not happening out there. It's in here. It's always you versus you. The power was never theirs to take. It was always yours to give away.